Gary, 3-1 defeat to Chichester City. Scored quite early, looked comfortable, but had a really good chance to go 2-0 up, and then quickly found ourselves 2-1 down, and we didn't have a response.
Yeah, we had a great opportunity at 0-0 as well to put ourselves 1 up before we actually went 1 up as well, Ben. And we then get in front, and then we have another moment that we've got the ball's got with the net, Ben. There's no grey area in that. It's we found ourselves sort of in a 3v1 situation. We don't quite do very well with the first one. It then falls back to us, and it's got to hit the net. Does that change the context of the game? More than likely does. But then through our own doing and our own shortcomings and our own, poor play, we find ourselves 2-1 down. They have a shape that you have to be diligent with, and you have to be patient with, and you have to suffer a little bit with it. But I thought, once we'd got through the first 10-15 minutes and got out in front, I thought we were starting to get a grips with it. But 2 real poor defensive errors on my part, and it's just decision making. I mean, the choices we picked in them moments on both the phases just found ourselves behind, and we just look like we feel sorry for ourselves a little bit at the moment, Ben. I think we are. What's surfaced today is that the players that we've got out of the team are huge to us. I mean, the loss of your captain and Frankie Merrifield and Jack Paxman, you can see is a problem, and it surfaced. I could see it when we went behind today. It was evident in the defeat a couple of weeks ago, and that is a big concern to me. I do think there's effort out there. I think when I look at the physical output, there's effort and there's a willingness, but not winning enough duels. So that makes, when you're not winning enough individual duels, and that's in both the wide areas today, centre forward up against 2 central defenders, not enough duels being won in that final third of the pitch, and it makes it look like, it highlights like players don't quite care, but it's not so much they don't care, because the effort's there. It's just they're not doing well enough. It's not good enough, Ben, and it disappoints me that our reaction, like you just it wasn't quite where it needed to be, and the third goal just really epitomises the middle part of the game. I thought second half we were better, and there was more purpose to us without that real cutting edge for me. But it's worrying where we're at the moment, and we have to regroup, and we'll have to pick the chaps up and see where it takes us. But there is some really vulnerable players in my change room now, and I'm not talking vulnerable in terms of their self personally. I'm talking in terms of staying in and around this football club, staying in and around this group, because it's not something that I'm going to accept. I think success is demanded from the management team this year, and I felt we'd put a group together, which I believe we have when we're all fit and healthy, that's capable of achieving something this year. I look at the league, I don't think there's any standout performers. I don't think we've quite got to the levels we are, and we're still sitting 4th, but we need to be a whole lot better, and I've got to make assurances to all that we will be, and we'll make the changes where required.
Do you think we were lacking that aggression, decision making and quality today?
Yes, all of them 3 factors, and you could say that's due to the 3 players that are out the side, but I don't ever hide behind that. Your squad should be good enough. You have players that that every opportunity that does present itself, they've got to be better, and I haven't seen that in some of ours. The ones that have been near enough banging on the door and chomping at the bit to get in when they've got their opportunities, it's not been anywhere near good enough. Some of them, I promise you, Ben, have stayed in the side by default, but just because of availability of others. But I'd like to think Saturday we'll have a couple of real senior players back, players that we've truly missed. I mean, there's 1 or 2 out there leaving it every bit of what they've got out on the pitch. I mean, I thought Terrell Miller-Rodney was everywhere. I still feel he can be a little bit tidier, but he epitomises what I require and I need. And I thought young Charlie Panton was magnificent, but outside of that, we've got to be a whole lot better.
No Adi Aziz in the squad today. Obviously, he played on Tuesday. Was it a case of making sure we don't rush him back and ease him back into the action? Yeah,
totally. It's a game a week at the moment, and it's minimal minutes on a game a week. So he'll be back in the squad on Tuesday night. We didn't feel it was right to have him back in the 16. It was more value to him to have a training session and a strength session to get him where he needs to be for Tuesday night. But he'll be back amongst it Tuesday. It's about us being patient. As much as he's up and running and he's training and such like. You know, what we don't want is a reoccurrence of any injury, the main injury, but also side issue injuries as well. So we've just got to be sensible with Addy.
Yeah, and it's Chelmsford on Tuesday, local derby, so should be another good atmosphere in New Lodge, and hopefully a chance to repay the 50 or so that made the trip down here today.
Yeah, and look, I want to thank the fans that have made the effort. I mean, the coaches have been full, the club have been putting on coaches, and I think that's, you know, very much shows that the club is very, very together. I think the fans have been excellent, but they're entitled today to really throw some crap at us, because I was really disappointed with some individual performances, but also the collective display. There was moments of what we need and what we require, but we should be rightly criticised today, because, you know, when you come to places like this on a cold, wet, windy, rainy day, it's about making sure that you roll your sleeves up and do the basics that are required. And I don't think we defended anywhere near well enough, and I don't think we attacked with anywhere near enough purpose. And you would argue that maybe one or two in midfield have got to do better as well. So, you know, I thank the fans. You know, we'll obviously look to try and put right the wrongs of today, and you know, and it's, as much as it's not a league game, it's a cup game. We need to get ourselves ready by a Tuesday for next Saturday's encounter against the big winners of the day in Hendon today. So, you know, it's up to the players to have accountability and be ready for, you know, another game on Tuesday night, the ones that are selected.